Happy Devil's Saturday. This is the Woo Report. I am your host, Sam Woo, coming to you live from Asbury, New Jersey, in my home studio. I figured I'd do a Woo Report. This is Woo Report episode 12, titled Step in the Right Direction. But before I begin, I just got to do a little plug that we will be at where we'll be at Tavern on the Rocks in beautiful Rockaway, New Jersey at 9 Wall Street with Grant Marshall, Colin White. It's going to be a fun time for a live podcast and viewing party. Get there early. Colin White is going to be there, but he will be there in the beginning, and Grant Marshall will be there throughout the night. It's going to be a fun time. Again, Tavern on the Rocks at 9 Wall Street in beautiful Rockaway, New Jersey. Anyway, so step in the right direction. I like what I saw last night with the New Jersey Devils. Jack Hughes back in the lineup, but Nico Hischier and Vatanen out with injuries. So with that said, you get one back, but you lose one in Nico. Jack Hughes, it seems like Jack Hughes is really starting to gel with the team. Now, no points last night. Did not get a shootout goal that the Devils needed. But look, when he's in the lineup, the Devils do better. They play better. And as he grows as an NHL hockey player, he's going to have a more meaningful impact. The silly talk about him going to juniors on as a loner. Look, he needs to be with the big club. The Devils need to have a winning mindset, and with a winning mindset, you do not tank. You fix this at all costs, even though it looks like the Devils' playoff chances are very bleak. It could be a similar situation where John McLean coached the team for about a month and a half, 2 months before Lou Lamoriello fired him and brought in interim coach Jacques Lemaire. In that situation, it may have been a little bit too late to do that because the Devils did go on a run and actually was in the playoff hunt barely in the last week of that season. I believe that was the 2010-2011 season. So Hughes' potential is huge, says Omar Ba. Also, hi, Cheryl Miller. So there is improvements. Look, the passes were better. The execution was better. Mackenzie Blackwood played well in net. The Devils got a point. I'm not a big fan of judging a team that loses in the shootout because, to be honest, I think that the overtime and shootout is more of a marketing gimmick to figure out who wins the game. It doesn't really put a pulse on whether the team is doing well or not. I like the defensive game. I mean, after all, Nasreddine ran the defense. I like that approach. I really like the effort that they put in last night. Taylor Hall scored the lone goal for the New Jersey Devils. He needs to get going. I'm sure that is a big relief to him. Taylor Hall rumors have been swirling, but this is normal, folks. When you have a high-priced free agent to be going into free agency as an unrestricted free agent, this is going to happen, and it would be dumb if Ray Shero put all his eggs in one basket and assumed that he will resign. You saw what happened to the Islanders with John Tavares. They gambled, they lost, but they gained a lot in Barry Trotz and Lou Lamoriello at the helm. That's why they're doing well. David Decker says, our D is god-awful, no blue line points. Yes, but you know what? If you notice the score yesterday, they only gave up one goal. That's a start. And, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's a start. This is truly the first game under the Nasreddine regime. And he finally had one practice under his belt. And getting 1 point, I think, is a victory at this point. But what happens tonight in Nashville? PK Subban makes his return to Nashville. 8 p.m. start. We will be doing that live event at Tavern on the Rocks. We'll be watching together. Rumor has it Mickey Mouse may make an appearance, but that all depends upon what's going on in the game. So what you want to look for is consistency. I've been beating a dead horse with that, but you know what? If the execution is the problem, consistency is the remedy. Will the Devils put in a great effort back to back games now on the road? If you remember the last back to back against the Rangers and Buffalo Sabres, they got blown out 11-1 in those two games. So let's see what kind of effort the Devils do bring. Is this going to be another Jekyll and Hyde situation? I don't think the players are going to allow that to happen. They shouldn't. There should not be any letdown. You've got a new coach, clean slate. You got the point last night. If the Devils can win tonight, especially if they can win outright, meaning in regulation, 3 points out of 4 is not bad, but that's the start, and that's something you can confidently build on. Jack Hughes seems to be fine. The way he played last night, I liked his first game back. Yes, no points, but you know what? Those points will come if you do the little things right, and we should start looking not so much as the stat sheet as a fantasy hockey contestant. We should be looking at the little things, block shots, positioning, their skating. How fast are they skating? North south? Are they being too fancy? Take the shot and start out shooting your opponent and keep the puck in their zone, in the opponent's zone, because that's the best way to remedy the defense. Kelly writes, how about Scotty's breakdown on NHL about the team structure and systems? Yes, that was, I'll tell you what, that was some great analysis that Scott Stevens did when everybody was sharing the NHL Facebook page on social media. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, just, it's almost like we had a dear old friend come back and help us out. Give us the fans, some perspective of what's going on. Look, the one good thing about all this, and there's a silver lining, is all this stuff is correctable. It's not a matter of talent or the ownership spending money. This is really about putting it together. Now, did we expect the team to be losing that much in the beginning? I mean, I know Ray Shero wasn't expecting it. He even remarked that in his, at one of the interviews, outside the locker room this past week. But now Omar Barr says Subi will have a good game tonight. Well, he's obviously going to be amped up. And what we're looking for is let's make sure that this team doesn't get too amped up, and especially Subban, where they take dumb penalties. Dumb penalties leads to goals for the opposition. Again, yes, I like Blake Coleman shorthanded, but you know what? I like to minimize those chances and play more 5-on-5 hockey. And also, one of the things that they did cut down yesterday were those high scoring chances when the Blackhawks were in the zone. That needs to be done more frequently. You have a young goaltender in Mackenzie Blackwood and Louis Domingue right now with Corey down in the minors. You need to help the goaltending out by playing, better defense. Sam, the system is still the system. Well, let's put it this way. It doesn't really matter what system you play, as long as the players believe in it and they all show up and play their role and do it well and execute it well. What I like about Nasreddine, and just judging by his statements through the press, it seems like he's starting to just take a step back, evaluate, and start breaking down the Devils' play in little components. And when you break it down in many these little components, then you take one, work on it, execute, and then move on to the next thing you need to work on. There is a big problem with the New Jersey Devils, but again, I've said it's correctable, and I think that's what Nasreddine is taking, is a process-oriented approach where you're taking one problem at a time, fixing it, and then moving on, and rinse and repeat, and also reinforce what game you should be playing. I like defense. Devils have been always built on defense. They have the defensive-minded coach right now in the interim. Like I said, is he the best coach in the NHL right now? No, but he is the right one in this right moment to be coaching this team, because I didn't really think that the Devils were really far off before they fired John Hines. What was far off is they weren't winning, they weren't executing, and they weren't playing to the potential. Right now, everybody's on notice. Ray Shero is taking phone calls for Taylor Hall. Ray Shero is going to make moves if necessary. But one thing I like about Ray Shero is he did not throw in the towel. This is not the Sixers, tank till you win. No, they're going for it now. They're all in. It's just a matter of fixing the problem and evaluating and moving forward. And hopefully this team starts winning and they can start tonight in Nashville. Again, tonight we have a live pregame podcast and viewing party at Tavern on the Rocks. It's going to be a great time. We're going to give away stuff. We like giving away stuff. Oh, by the way, we're not charging at the door. We don't believe that. We don't believe charging at the door. All of our events, the hashtag We Are the Fun events, are free. And, come by, say hi. You have to be 21 or older to attend. If you're not, please be sure to have a guardian with you. This and that. So anyway, PKs should stop cooking shows and media and score goals and play hockey. There was an article in the New York Post, David Decker, that PK's marketing everything but his game. You should read that. I'll post it up later in our Facebook group, Twitter, Periscope, and and see. Yeah, and read that article. I think it was Larry Brooks that wrote about it. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Tim, Clark, Callahan, Zach has 3 shifts in OT. You know what? Yes, we are the fun, David Decker. We are in the step in the right direction. So tonight we will have a live event podcast at Tavern on the Rocks in beautiful Rockaway, New Jersey. Well, this concludes the Woo Report. I hope to see you all there. We're going to have a lot of fun. Mickey Mouse may make an appearance, but hopefully he doesn't. Till next time, Devils fans, this is the Woo Report. Let's go, Devils.